And we're back with number 2. You guys just had it poured. Why don't we start this time with Ben?
Sorry, I'm still drinking it. I don't know.
Should we go with somebody else? You know, last forward. We'll put the microphone in front of Kieran.
I was just thinking, I'm so glad I'm not going first.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a puzzly one. There's a big whack of hops on the nose. I can't even describe what the hops are like. It's just this very lovely hoppy gassiness of it. It's definitely a hop forward beer.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lovely kind of sherbety hop flavour, like the hop flavour comes before the malt flavour. And then there's kind of a light enough kind of malt background. I'd say it's an IPA. I'd say it almost has to be made by 8 Degrees, but I could be totally putting my neck on the line there. But I just can't think anyone else in Ireland making beers like this.
Okay.
Percentage-wise,
we'll go back to the percentage.
Yeah.
David, why don't you tell us? The microphone is right in front of you.
I'm picking up a lot of grass on the nose, quite grassy, quite, obviously it's as agreeing with Kieran, quite a hop forward beer.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it in the up front, and it stays with you the whole way, right through to the finish. It doesn't fade off at all. Style, definitely I'd say it has to be a pale ale, but then again, it could be a hoppy IPA.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, John.
I'm getting a lot of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the microphone is right there.
I'm getting again. It's very similar to the last one. Although I would say hoppier and on the nose, I'm getting. It's kind of some English and some probably US hops. It's a little bit fruity. On the palate, it's there's a bit of there's a lot of you can get the CO2, you get carbonation, and a bit of bite in it when you take it first.
Okay.
And there seems to be, I don't know, kind of caramel or roast or just something in it, like so. It's quite a dry finish. But it's quite pleasant.
Ben, after this stellar performance, let's get back to you.
I've managed to drink some of it now. I kind of agree with Dave on the nose. I think it's got a grassy nose. It's more hop flowers than hop fruit, if you know what I mean. It's not grapefruity or lemony or orangey. And I also agree with John. I think it's got a similar kind of profile on the palate as the last one, so I find it a bit more expressive and the flavour carries on a bit longer. And I think it's quite malty as well. There's definitely a bit of caramel in there. So if I was going to be consistent, I'd say it's a red ale, but I could be wrong again, but I'll stick with it. Yeah. I'm just going to say, it's not a red ale.
So what about the ABV?
I think it'd be a little bit higher, so maybe 5.2 or 3.
Okay. Kieran, we're back with you.
Yeah, I seemed very sure a while ago. Now, the nose seems to have died down a bit. That it doesn't seem as hop forward now. And the malt seems to be coming through a little bit more. I'm thinking it's. I'm still going to call it an IPA. I'm not as sure who makes it now. The malt profile seems. I'm confused by this one. Strength-wise, I'd say. Yeah, similar to Ben. I think just somewhere over 5%, 5.3, 5.4, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Dave, we're back with you. So, what do you think of this beer?
I drink it. Yeah, if someone put it in front of me, I wouldn't knock it, throw it back at them. I'd say yes to that.
Would you sell it?
I probably do sell it. I hope I do anyway. If I don't, I should probably stop it. Initially, I was just getting a lot of the grassy hops and on the nose and on the mouthfeel, and now I'm getting a little bit more bitterness in it. So initially, I was saying a pale ale, but I think now I'm kind of edging towards an IPA, a hoppy IPA. ABV, I'd say with the lads probably around 5.5, somewhere around that.
John, what do you think of this beer overall? You like it?
It's pretty good. There's a lot more going on there than there was in the previous one. I think hops wise, there's a lot more hops in it. In terms of the style, it's the hops are misleading me a little bit. I think it's probably a darker beer than it's more than just a pale. There's caramel or there's some darkening in it, I think. In terms of kind of the flavour, mouthfeel and everything, it's a lot drier now. Maybe my palate is upset by the previous beer, but it seems it's a lot drier than the last one, I think. ABV wise, I'm inclined to say it's a difficult one. There's a lot of hops in it. But I would say it's probably a little bit lower than the last one. I think I said kind of 5.5 in the last one. So this is kind of sitting around maybe 5 or even a tad below.
Okay. Let's remind people that you're actually a qualified BGCP judge.
Yeah.
How do you find so far the blind tasting experience?
Well, it's interesting. I got the first one completely wrong in terms of style, so so much for the judging. But sure, we'll soldier on anyway.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, we're going back to Ben. So, is this the beer you like? Something you would have here?
It's the kind of beer I'd respect more than like. I like it's hoppy, but it's not the way I like my hops. I'm more lean towards a bit of either Southern Hemisphere hops or American hops. I'm not mad on hop bombs that don't have the bitterness, and I think this is quite a high malt profile. I would never say it was A to B's, and I'm probably completely wrong, but for the simple reason when they have quite a strong malt profile in them, but they also tend to leave a little bit of bittering, so there's a kind of dry smack that this doesn't have. And bitterness is accumulative. We've had 2 beers, and as far as I'm concerned, neither of them are bitter enough. But that's more stylistic than anything wrong with the beers. And this beer has got a very distinct profile, and it lasts long in the mouth. So it's a well-made beer. It's nice.
Okay, Kieran, we're back with you.
I like it, and I'm actually going to agree with Ben here in that I don't think it is an 8 degrees beer anymore.
So you're taking it back?
Yeah, but I like it. I think it's quite assertive. I think it's well balanced. It's nicely made beer. It's nice.
Okay. Well, why don't you guys take off your blindfold? And we're tasting
Hop Head.
Hop Head from the Porterhouse.
Yeah.
Hop Head, right?
Yeah. And that's been around a while. So
yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to have less of that real American or Southern Hemisphere hops.
Any of you kind of recognized it? Had any?
What I was saying,
I'm sure you all had it before.
I have, but not recently.
But I suspect any one of us that would have had it would have probably drank it on draft, at the Porterhouse or at a festival, and rather than picking up a bottle in an off license, And there's always a slight difference in the taste profile of bottle versus draft as well,
What's the ABV?
It's
5.
5. And it's a beyond the pale, so they don't not define it specifically as an IPA or pale ale. I would say it's a pale ale.
Maybe a red.
Just
A hoppy red.
I'm looking at it. I just burned myself on the light trying to. No, this is not a red. I'm sorry, man.
There's no red in it, no.
It's what I like to call a pale red.
Yes. You're right.
A new style.
Colorblind as well as being taste blind, yeah.
It's not your best showing so far. That's okay. There's 4 left.
It can be red if you want, Ben. You know?
Soldiers on, soldiers on.
There'll be a red in here. I'm not going to change my decision.
That's a stuffed clock is right twice a day.
It's like doing multiple choice years ago. If you put in enough A's, you're gonna get enough right, you know.
Yeah. But and for the ABV, you all guessed about above 5%. You were like 5.2, 5.3, 5.5.
Yeah, I'm taking 1 point there. I'm on 3. I got the ABV. I'm winning so far.
I said 5 or below. The last one was 5 and a bit, wasn't it?
Sorry.
The last beer was, what was it? 5?
5.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is 5 as well.
Yeah. High 5, everyone.
This one tastes, to me, because of its length in the mouth and a bigger mouthfeel, it does taste as though it's got a little bit more alcohol in it. Mm-hmm. They're probably lying on the label. Allegedly.
Not getting my social and the revenue going down there tomorrow. Like, can we check your head?
Don't mind that. You'll have a claim. You'll have some kind of counter sue against you. You know, you'll have someone suing the radio show for misguiding people.
Yes, no.
No, it is 5%. Yeah.
Yeah, it is 5%.
Yeah, we'll clarify. Yeah.
Yes. And you guys had this recently, or?
It's been a while since I had it on draft. I'm sure we had it on as a guest in the beer house. Yeah. I found the last time we had it, actually, whether it was just the date on the keg or whether it was I'm not going to diss the beer now, but it wasn't as fresh, or maybe they've just altered the recipe slightly. I remember Hop Head being the real, in your face bucket load of hops, but I think it's kind of.
We were drinking different beers when Hop Head came out first.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. I appreciate that.
When Hop Head originally came out, it was probably the hoppiest beer on the Irish market. So
I've had it fresh at the Porterhouse in Cork, and when you have it fresh, it is still a real in-your-face hoppy beer, like, Yeah.
Yeah, but the bottle, unfortunately, IPA don't go well in bottle. An IPA, you need to drink it as fresh as possible, and preference
Isn't that what
on draft.
Isn't that what some of the American breweries do at the moment? Aren't they? They just said they bottle a beer and then there's a date on it. Enjoy it by a certain date, and if you don't enjoy it by a certain date, then they're saying, look, this is why, because we're saying this is the shelf life. It could be only just 2 weeks. There's a couple of microbreweries as well. I was hearing in California where they literally run to just like a tapping Thursday or Friday, and they just literally throw the kegs on, and everybody knows that keg is going on and it's going to be at its freshest state, and they kind of on that Thursday or Friday, Yes. Yeah, you need them fresh, definitely.
Are you talking about Russian River?
I think Russian River do it. I think Lagunitas might do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go on another musical break. This will be a short one, so finish your glass, put back the blindfold, and we move on to the next one.